A man had just moved into a new apartment, eager to start fresh. As he made his way to the receptionist to retrieve his keys, she greeted him with a polite smile before handing them over. Just as he turned to leave, she hesitated for a moment and then spoke with a hushed yet firm voice. "One thing," she said. "There is a door on your floor without a number. Whatever you do, don't disturb it. Don't knock, don't try to open it, and certainly," she paused, "don't look through the keyhole." The man frowned, puzzled. "Why?" he asked, but the receptionist only shook her head. "Just trust me. It's best if you pretend it doesn't exist." Though he found her warning odd, he shrugged it off. He was too excited about settling into his new place to dwell on it. After hours of unpacking and arranging furniture, he finally sat down to rest. Yet, the receptionist's words lingered in his mind. What could be behind that door? Why was she so adamant about ignoring it? His curiosity got the better of him. Late that night, he stepped out into the dimly lit hallway, the silence around him almost deafening. He walked slowly, eyes scanning the doors until he found it, the unmarked one. Unlike the others, which were pristine, this door looked old, its wood slightly warped and its paint faded. The brass doorknob was dull and scratched, as if many hands had tried to turn it over the years. He hesitated for a moment before reaching for the knob. It was locked. Of course. But that didn't stop his curiosity. He crouched down and pressed his eye to the keyhole. At first, his vision adjusted to the darkness of the room beyond. Then, as his eyes focused, he saw something. The apartment on the other side was empty, mostly dark save for the faint glow of moonlight filtering through a curtainless window. The air in the room seemed heavy, almost frozen in time. His gaze drifted, scanning the airy stillness, until it stopped on a figure standing in the far corner. A woman. She stood unnaturally still, her back turned to him, her long black hair cascading down her back. Her pale skin almost seemed to glow against the shadows of the room. A chill ran down his spine as he watched, waiting for her to move, to turn, something. But she didn't. She remained frozen, facing the wall, as if unaware, or perhaps unconcerned, that she wasn't alone. Unease crept into his chest. He pulled away quickly, feeling an odd sense of guilt, as if he had invaded someone's privacy. Maybe she was just a tenant who valued her solitude. Shaking his head, he hurried back to his apartment, pushing the thought of the woman out of his mind. That night, his sleep was restless. He kept dreaming of the woman, her stillness, the way the dim light barely illuminated her form. Something about her felt unnatural. The more he tried to dismiss it, the more his mind clung to the image of her standing in the corner, motionless, as if waiting for something. The next day, his thoughts were plagued by the encounter. Who was she? Why was she just standing there? Was she even real? His logical mind told him it was just some recluse, but deep down, something about the encounter unsettled him. That night, unable to resist, he returned to the door. He dropped to his knees and peered through the keyhole once more. All he saw was red. A deep, endless red. Startled, he pulled back. Had she seen him the night before and covered the hole? Was it fabric, or had she? He didn't want to think about it. His stomach churned. Deciding he had had enough, he stepped away and made his way downstairs to the receptionist. She looked up at him knowingly before he even spoke. She sighed deeply. "You looked through the keyhole, didn't you?" His throat felt dry. "Yes," he admitted. "Who is that woman?" The receptionist's expression darkened. She hesitated, then spoke in a hushed voice. "A long time ago, a couple lived in that apartment. The husband. He lost his mind. They say he became violent, paranoid. One night, he murdered his wife. But they weren't like you and me." The man frowned. "What do you mean?" She exhaled, her voice barely above a whisper. "They had pale skin, black hair, and red eyes." A shiver ran down his spine. His stomach turned as the realization sank in. The woman hadn't covered the keyhole with anything. He had been staring directly into her eye. A slow, creeping horror settled over him. He could still feel the sensation of being watched, the intensity of that crimson stare burning into his memory. He turned to leave the reception area, but his legs felt heavy. As he walked back to his apartment, every hallway seemed darker, every shadow deeper. He hesitated before reaching his door, a sick feeling curling in his gut. Maybe it was just a story. Maybe it was just a coincidence. But as he stepped inside, locking the door behind him, he couldn't shake the feeling that he was no longer alone. Jenna let out a tired sigh as she stepped out of the office, The last one to leave again. The parking lot was eerily silent, the usual hum of distant traffic strangely absent. The streetlights flickered, casting long, shifting shadows across the pavement. As she fumbled for her keys, her phone vibrated in her pocket. A voicemail. No missed calls, just the message. Frowning, she pressed play. At first, only static crackled through the speaker. Then, a voice, low, strained, and whispering. "Jenna. Don't go home. Please. I see it watching you." A cold shiver ran through her. The voice sounded like Molly, her best friend, but it was wrong, distorted, distant, as if dragged through something unnatural. Her breath hitched as she checked the caller ID. No number. Heart pounding, she quickly dialed Molly's number. Ring. Ring. Then, voicemail. Jenna swallowed hard, scanning the empty parking lot. The feeling of unseen eyes on her back sent an icy knot of dread curling in her stomach. Shaking it off, she climbed into her car and locked the doors. "It's nothing," she told herself. "A prank. A wrong number." But just as she started the engine, her phone buzzed again. Another voicemail. Her breath caught as she hesitated. The first one had been unsettling. Did she really want to hear this one? Her thumb hovered, then pressed play. The voice was different now. Urgent. Desperate. Terrified. "It's behind you. Run." A choked gasp escaped her as she whipped around. Scanning the back seat, the lot outside, the yawning darkness beyond the streetlights. Nothing. But her pulse roared in her ears. The sensation of something lurking just beyond sight was suffocating. Her hands trembled as she threw the car into drive, speeding through the empty streets. The city felt wrong. Too quiet. Each shadow seemed to stretch unnaturally long, shifting as she passed. She kept glancing in the rearview mirror. Nothing. Nothing. And yet, her skin prickled as if something unseen was riding in the back seat, breathing just inches away. The moment she pulled into her driveway, she bolted from the car, fumbled with her keys, and slammed the front door shut. Lock. Deadbolt. Chain. Safe. She exhaled shakily, pressing her forehead against the door. "It's fine. I'm fine." Her phone buzzed again. Another voicemail. Her fingers trembled as she pressed play. This time, the voice was crying. "You didn't listen. It's inside." Jenna's breath caught in her throat. Her body went cold. A floorboard creaked. A slow, deliberate sound from inside the house. Her mouth went dry as she turned her head, eyes locked on the dark hallway leading deeper into her home. The living room was dimly lit, but the corridor beyond was pitch black. Something shifted. Not the house settling. Not the wind. Something moved. Her heart pounded against her ribs. Every instinct screamed run. But she stood frozen, ears straining against the suffocating silence. And then, a breath. Not hers. Close. Too close. Her vision swam. The darkness in the hallway felt deeper now, heavier, like it was swallowing the light. Jenna took a slow step back, phone clenched in her trembling hands. The air had changed, thicker, colder. There was a presence in that hallway. Watching. Waiting. Her fingers went numb. The phone slipped from her grip, hitting the floor with a hollow thud. Silence swallowed the room. Then, the lights flickered. Once. Twice. Then, blackness. Jenna sucked in a sharp breath, her body screaming to move, but she stood paralyzed in the dark. Then. A step. Slow. Measured. Deliberate. Closer. Closer. The darkness pressed in, suffocating, wrapping around her like unseen hands. She felt it now, the presence. Looming. Inches away. Her phone buzzed one last time. Another voicemail. But Jenna would never hear it. In the silence, something moved. And then, everything went still. For more content like subscribe our channel.